this video, I wanted to show you how I plant bearded iris, which might be slightly different than what you've seen elsewhere. And before you click away from the video, just know I did already try this method. I planted these in November, gave them some water, gave them time, and then 2 months later, this is the progress. As you could see, there's new growth coming from the iris bulbs, and I didn't notice until I watched the video, but some even have like several different types of green growth on them. These are the different varieties I planted, and here we go. So these are what the iris rhizomes look like, and what I've done here so far is I've just gotten my bulb planter, punched out a hole like I would for a daffodil or a tulip, and I'm just filling it up with potting soil. Next, I'm grabbing my iris rhizome and just kind of watching where to place it. I want the rhizome to be planted at or just below the soil surface. You don't want to plant it too deep, otherwise it could lead to rotting, or even if it does root, it may not flower as well if it's planted too deep. So I'm trying to be super careful. I'm patting down the soil now just to kind of make sure that the rhizome doesn't sink into the ground later on. Something that I wanted to mention was that this actually isn't the first time that I'm planting iris rhizomes. I have tried to plant them in the last season, and I didn't have success because I accidentally planted them way too deep, thinking that they need to be planted as deep as a tulip or a daffodil bulb. Obviously they rotted, they never came up, they never flowered, and it's funny to think back now. I would come out to the garden and look for them, and I would think that maybe there was something wrong with the bulbs, but clearly it was me that planted them way too deep. So I just wanted to let you guys know this information so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Now, most other places that I've seen will tell you to dig a shallow hole before planting your rhizome, and then you kind of create like a small hill or a small mound at the center. Then you place the rhizome on top of the soil mound and spread out the roots, and then just firm the soil around. And the reason I'm not following this method is because you could probably see from the video, I am just kind of working in really tight spaces. There's clearly a lot of plants around where I'm planting iris bulbs, and we also have really thick clay soil, so just that method is a little bit harder to do for me just because of my soil type and the environment that I'm working in. As far as spacing goes, you want to try and space between 12 and 24 inches apart. I'm spacing them a little bit further here because they are among other plants, but the closer you plant them, the sooner you're going to have to dig them out and replant them. Usually if there's large clumps of iris growing together, that's going to reduce the number of blooms that you get. It's typically recommended to dig out the rhizomes every 3 to 5 years to kind of thin them out and replant them. Bearded iris likes full sun, so that's about 6 to 8 hours of sunlight a day. Now where I'm planting, I don't think they're going to get full sun. It is a south-facing area of the garden. However, it's only going to get about, I don't know, maybe 4 hours if we're lucky.